Hi, I'm Bill Snyder, Sports Information Director at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, and welcome to Bulldog Blitz. We're here on location once again, this time from Summit, Mississippi, where Gulf Coast took on Southwest, and good news once again, we've won 3 in a row. The Bulldogs win it 34-23 over the Bears, and Coach, playing off what we talked about last week, I declare this victory the win in the first ever Britney Spears Bowl. Congratulations. And it wasn't easy, but none of them have been easy this year. It's a W.
Oh, yeah, it's a W. In this league, anytime you can get one, especially in the South Division on the road, again, this was something like 8 out of 9 games we've been on the road, and to come over here into Southwest Bear territory and come home with an 11-point victory, we're very proud. The guys played extremely well, but played better. You know, we still, made some mistakes and things of that nature, but we played good enough to win, and that's what you have to do in this league. Stay alive one more week.
Survive and advance, and that's what the Bulldogs did here against Southwest. Coming up after this first break, we're going to take a look at all the action from this big win as Gulf Coast defeats Southwest. You're watching Bulldog Blitz here on WLOX.
Gulf Coast Community College. It's like this. High school graduates can take classes close to home that transfer easily to universities. The convenience and flexibility of online classes give students of all ages the opportunity to earn a degree. Apply online and chat live with an admissions specialist or visit us on Facebook. Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, celebrating academic excellence for 100 years.
Welcome back to Bulldog Blitz. We get the ball first, and on the first play, a bad snap pushes us back. We go 3 and out. They get the ball. They go 80 yards. Ventarius Cooper, their terrific running quarterback, scores, makes it 7-0 right there off the bat. So another inauspicious start and kind of sputtering there right off the bat.
Yeah, we came out and, I don't know, because we don't have a more experienced guy than Dylan Holly, and there's not a better football player. Dylan's as good as they come, and they were hollering a snap count or something, and he snapped it early, and but we didn't start the way we wanted to. But the thing that I love about this football team is that they play the next play. They put that one behind them. They play the next play. We did fall behind early, so about as many negative things as you could have happened. We didn't do anything with it right off the bat. We're fidgety, jumpy, and they take it and go right down the field and score. We're down 7-0, but there's no panic in the guys. They kept battling and playing the next play. Real proud of the resiliency.
Yeah, and the defense really got its act together heading into the second quarter. They started shutting down Cooper and their running game. Meanwhile, the offense, the line really then started to show its dominance. Reggie Matthews scored on a 4th and goal. That was a resilient play, making it 7-7, 9:18 to go first half. And that was that slow momentum change it seems like we've been getting all year.
Yeah. We needed a play, and it was, I guess, that touchdown was on 4th down. Reggie, we went to our old faithful jumbo set, which has been good for us this year. You remember last year it wasn't quite as good for us, and we'd kind of gotten away from it, and even early in the year. But jumbo was good for us. Reggie had a great run. You had Willie Packer and Mario Gaynor leading the way with Veenstrup. That's over there behind Veenstrup, and Lawrence Ramsey, and that was Cade blocking down. Good job by the O-line. On the other side, Rashad, Ramsey Sellers, and Steven, scooping on the backside. So that was a big play. Good run by Reggie to get us back to 7-7.
Yeah, Reggie Matthews in there. Lamar Smith ran it well. Kadero Edley had a big game. All those guys filling in for the injured James Gillum. Now, Ventarius Cooper got another touchdown from 5 yards out. They led 14-7, but from there on, with 4:54 to go in the first half, we went on a run of 21 unanswered points. Right after that, the biggest play of the game, I thought, Otis Jacobs gets a terrific wall over on the right side, taking it 87 yards to tie the game at 14, and that's really where things started getting good.
Yeah, it was. You know, we are a team of runs. We talked about this last week. We're a team of runs. We're a surge team. And, you know, they score with 4 minutes to go up by a touchdown, and then by halftime we're up by a touchdown. So, you know, our guys kicked it into gear when they had to. Great play by Otis. You know, special players make special plays in big-time situations. And Otis definitely did that. That was a game changer for us. You know, last week against Jones, he had the big punt return, which really set us up. So he has been a guy that has definitely been a special football player for us, and that was a big play.
Well, right after that, with 2:17 to go in the half, we get the ball back, get a nice drive. Raymond Cotton goes to Javon Bell, a 20-yard touchdown. Javon ran that perfect out pattern in the end zone, 21-14 at halftime, and we really had Uncle Mo going at that point.
Yeah, we did. That was a big throw and catch. You know, we had gotten down there earlier and didn't punch it in and wasn't able to capitalize with a field goal. And, you know, it was important for us to put that ball in the end zone, and that was a great throw by Raymond, good protection up front, and a great catch, a great route by Javon. So big play for us.
And the defense came out in the second half where we turned it into points. Kadero Edley with the 2-yard run. And suddenly with 11:58 to go, we're up by 2 touchdowns. And really at that point, that running game kicked into high gear. Edley started getting some holes up the middle, and we started getting the corner. Byron James had some nice runs. So that was really nice to see here in hostile territory how the offense took over.
It was. You know, we've been kind of waiting on that for a little while, and you know we've had little spurts during the season, you know, up to this point, but that was the first time that they know we're going to run the football, we know we're going to run the football, and we ran the football, and I was really proud to see that. In order to be the team you want to be, and I don't care at any level, you got to be able to do certain things whenever the other team knows you're going to do it, and Southwest is a good football team. Southwest excellent on the defensive line, and we were able to run the football when they knew we were going to run it, and that ran a lot of clock out, and then we were able to punch it in, and so that was huge.
Then they get a field goal late in the third quarter, making it 28-17, kind of stayed that way for a while. They got a huge drive going, but we come up with a big turnover down in our end of the field, and then we take it on just one of those 9-minute march drives that you love to do. Sucks up the clock, eats up yardage. Reggie scores from 2 yards out, and with 1:30 to go, the game's pretty much out of reach at 34-17. They got that late one, the throw to Donnell Dunnigan with 52 seconds, making the final 34-23. But that last drive after the fumble recovery, I think we had it on our 9, so we took it 91 yards and really took their heart away on that one.
It was. I mean, and that's – they know we're going to run the football, and then we completed some passes in that one. I think we hit Byron on a big bubble. We hit maybe Javon on a zero hitch to kind of get us started, and then that spread them out, and then we're able to run the football and run the clock. And really, you know, I think there was 10 or 11 minutes whenever we started it, and you said we ran 9 minutes off. Those are the kind of drives that you can build off of, that build confidence in the line, build confidence throughout the team, give the defense a chance to rest. You know, our defense really played great after that first series. We were able to really stymie them and slow them down until that last play. But they needed, you know, we needed to run some clock, and we were able to do that. Really proud of Kadero. You know, Kadero Edley. I mean, he pounded the rock. Really proud of you know, Lamar Smith when he got in there, and then, you know, big Reggie finished it off. Jumbo, you know, he does an excellent job of that.
That's fun watching him on the ground.
Yeah, it is. That Jumbo set he does a good job at that.
Yeah, Lamar Smith, as we said, had some nice runs. Kadero, and also Byron James on those sweeps had some nice catches, but he ran the ball well on those little sweep runs.
He did. We've got to find a way to get the ball in his hands more, because, you know, it seems to me he does stuff with the ball whenever we can get it to him. So we need to, you know, and Trevante made 2 great catches, one on a comeback on a big third down, which kept that 1 touchdown drive going, and then on a hitch on another play, picked it up off the grass. Trevante made some big plays. you know, Javon, great job on the corner route. We hit Javon on a touchdown that got called back. They called us for 10 men on the field, which, you know, there's no flag for having 10 men on the field. It's having too many in the backfield, which we did not have. So we were able to hit on some things, which we're making improvement. We just got to keep getting a little bit better each week.
It is a little scary, but it's fun watching these guys grow up right in front of you.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, and that's the challenge. You know, nobody ever talks that, you know, they don't write books about climbing a low mountain. They don't write books about winning an easy battle. You know, the people watch Braveheart because it was a battle and a war. They talk about climbing Mount Everest because it's hard to do. And that's, you know, this football team is getting a little better and a little better and a little better. And, you know, what we need to do is keep improving, take them one game at a time. And next week's the biggest game of the year because it's the next one. It just so happens it also happens to be our rival. So, you know, huge game.
That's it. The Bulldogs win it 34-23. We've now won 5 in a row against Southwest, dating back to 2007. And we also go 3-1 overall and 2-0 in the South Division. Now time to check in with our sponsors. First, our Raising Cane's offensive play of the game. We give it to Raymond Cotton on the touchdown pass to Javon Bell, the 20-yarder, making it 21-14 at halftime. That was during that run of 21 unanswered points, and that was one of the prettier plays we've had this year as far as a pass and catch go.
Yeah, that was a great throw and catch. That's something that we've been working on for a couple of weeks, and it was very well executed. I was pleased with the protection, great route, great throw, great call from Coach Huff. So it was, you know, we completed some passes down the field today. We hit a couple of vertical routes to Javon earlier in the game. I think maybe on the second drive where we didn't convert, we missed the field goal when we got down there. There were some, but we threw and caught the ball better down the field today. Much improvement.
Improvement is always a good thing. On defense, our Jack's Home Improvement defensive play. Late in the game, they're driving, trying to make a game of it. The fumble recovery by Wade Wells. There was a big hit in there. Their quarterback, Dentarius Cooper, fumble. Wade picked it up, and that led to that 91-yard drive where we clinched the game. Huge momentum late in the game there.
It definitely was. I mean, I think at that point, what was this? I think it was a 10-point game, and they
28-17.
28-17, and then we got the turnover there was huge, and we were able to take it down. So big play by Wade. Great job on the defense of making them take the long haul. I mean, they got down there, and, you know, you think they're going to score, but the defense just played the next play, and then, you know, something good happened. Wade came up with a fumble, changed the game.
Yeah, and we're starting to get those turnovers too, which is nice. Our special teams play, the over-the-top special teams play, it was over the top. Otis Jacobs, 87 yards, turns the game around. We tied at 14 and go on to make a run there in the second quarter. And remember, Otis did that last year against Jones. He did it last week against Jones. Here he takes it to the house, and that was a thing of beauty. That wall on the right side, the special team set it up perfect. He only had to break one tackle. When he's got, 4.4 speed, you could forget about it.
Yeah, you know, Otis, you know, if Otis gets a step on you, it's going to be hard to catch him because he's got great speed. And he's healthy now, which is good. You know, he's been beat up a little bit with an ankle and things of that nature, but now he's finally healthy. And in the last 2 weeks, he's made huge plays for us on the special teams, and he's got that kind of ability. That's, you know, Texas A&M. He's committed to Texas A&M, and he is, you know, he's an SEC Big 12 kind of player that will have a chance to play on Sundays if he keeps progressing. So that's, you know, that's what kind of plays those guys make. Really proud for Otis.
Be fun to watch him, whether A&M is in the SEC or the Big 12 or whatever super conference they come up with. Whatever the case, congrats to him and all our special players this week as the Bulldogs win at 34-23. Now, coming up after the break, we will have a player profile. We foreshadowed who it might be, so you guess who it's going to be. That'll be coming up right after this break. As we go in, we'll take a look at the MAC-JC scoreboard and our standings this week, sponsored by Western Sizzlin' of Wiggins.
At Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, it's like this: academic excellence that's prepared generations of students for careers and for life. Non-traditional students enjoy the convenience and flexibility of online classes. You can earn a degree, work, and still enjoy time with family. Visit mgccc.edu to apply online and learn more about financial aid and scholarships. Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, celebrating academic excellence for 100 years.
Welcome back to Bulldog Blitz. Well, each week on our show, we take a look at some of our sophomore leaders. This week, we'll go to the defensive side of the ball. He had a big game tonight. It's defensive back Otis Jacobs.
Learned a lot from last year, like the speed of the game changed a lot. Speed got a lot faster. I learned how to complete assignments better, listen to the coaches and everything. So I'm a smarter player than I was last year.
Otis Jacobs catches it at his 45, takes it outside across the 50, setting up the blocks, now running right to the 45.
I'm just trying to stay healthy, be able to just do all I can for the team and everything, blocking, Of course, I can't do it without the blocking, so I'm just trying to stay healthy. Alonzo is going to be good for us. We got 2 returning players from last year. We got a lot of sophomores, actually. Quayshawn, Josh Richardson, we got me, Zoe, and then we got Willie in the back. And so we're pretty old back there. So we got a lot of experience back there, so we'll be pretty good up in the secondary.
And as we said, Otis always making big plays, and tonight he did. He had a little stretch, as you said, when he was healthy. He's come on just like the team has come on this year, gotten better every game, making big plays, and when you got a veteran back there like that, it's good to have.
It is. Otis can lock down one side of the field and does a real good job playing his defensive back position, outstanding corner. But then the wild card is all the plays that he makes on special teams. He's got speed on coverage, does a great job of covering punts and kickoffs. And then, if they will kick it to us, they started off sky kicking. And they kicked the one, I think it was to Zoe, and Zoe took it back to the plus 45. So they had been sky kicking. We had a plan for that. So then they started kicking it deep, and we really hadn't, because they hadn't kicked it deep all year other than the first kick. So we sky all week in practice. Well, after Zoe took it back, then they go, well, we may well kick it deep. Well, they kicked it deep. We got it back to the 30, and so they started saying, well, let's kick it. Well, then they kicked it deep to Otis, and he took it back to the house. So that's a wild card, and anytime he touches the ball, he's liable to score a touchdown. And special player, great young man, hardworking, good young man that we're very, very proud to have in the program. And Otis is a guy that's going to play a lot of football for a long time. Good young man.
And, of course, we always take a look at our sophomore leaders here, our player profiles here on Bulldog Blitz. Well, coming up after the break, let me ask you a question. What does Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College and Aspen have in common? I'll give you a hint. It doesn't have anything to do with skiing. It's a good thing, and we'll check out what that is coming back right after this. You're watching Bulldog Blitz on WLOX. Time now, though, for a centennial moment. Welcome back to Bulldog Blitz. You see our soccer teams also doing well in the MACJC South Division as they go midway through their season. Now we're going to take a look at something that the Bulldogs have done off the field. That's all of us here at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Our president, Dr. Mary Graham, explains why we're one of the finalists for the Aspen Prize.
Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College was notified that we are in fact one of the top 10 community colleges to be recognized for the Aspen Prize. The Aspen Prize is based on academic and workforce outcomes. This, coupled with being named a military-friendly school and the top 100 community colleges by Community College Weekly, and a perfect score on a 2009 SACS accreditation visit, validates the tremendous job that our faculty and employees are doing both in the classroom and in terms of student success. We are so pleased and honored to be recognized by the Aspen Institute. This is a first time ever national recognition by this organization.
Mississippi Gulf Coast works with one of the most diverse community college student populations in the country. What it's doing is enabling those students to gain the skills that they need and graduate from community college at a rate that is really exceptional. It's also making sure that what students are learning and what they're completing, the degrees they're completing, have value when they leave. Students are out there getting real jobs that have good wages.
If we in fact are selected as the top community college in the United States, our share of that prize money will be $700,000. We're excited about the money, but we're more excited about the national recognition for our institution, which again validates the hard work of our employees and our students in making sure that we meet the criteria for Aspen Prize.
And as Dr. Graham said, if we win, that's $1 million. It's kind of hard to do the pinky with the microphone, but that's not too far off. We would get $700,000 of that. And in all seriousness, it's a great prize. We'll find out later on in December if we do win that. But hey, we're in the top 10, which is pretty darn good. And Coach, it has to do with graduation rates and also our people getting jobs right out of college. And, you know, our football team, speaking of graduation rates, they do pretty well with that, and I know that's huge for you, making guys go to class and making sure they get their academics in order.
Yeah, you know, that's the number one thing. Yes, we want to win championships. We want to go to bowl games and things of that nature, but number one thing we want to do is make sure our young men get their degree. Tonight, sitting on our sideline was the offensive line coach at Belhaven, Les George, who played here, was an all-region performer for Gulf Coast Community College just a few years ago. Well, Les has got his degree, full-time job, coaching, doing what he loves, coaching football at Belhaven. You take Jacob Dykes, offensive line coach at Ocean Springs, Keating Helms, full-time coach at Gulfport. You know, all these guys are getting to do what they love to do. Malcolm Tatum was at last week's game against Jones, home game. Malcolm just got released by the Carolina Panthers in the NFL. Well, Malcolm, watch it, Coach, I got my degree. Remember, I graduated from Gulf Coast early, graduated from University of Louisville early. I'm set for whatever it is that I choose to do. Our number one goal is for the young men to get their degrees and then to move on in their chosen profession. You know, it would be a shame to win a bunch of football games and then the guy's not, you know, well, what do you do after that? But our number one goal is for them to get their degree, move. If they want to go into the workforce, go into the workforce and be successful. If you want to go into a four-year university, go into a four-year university and be very well academically grounded and ready to be successful, and we've had a lot of success at that.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we are up for that Aspen Prize. So congratulations to everybody here at the college, and you never know, we may be able to pull off that top prize. Either way, it's a terrific honor. Well, Coach, shifting gears, we won the Brittany Bowl here tonight. Next week, it's the Highway 26 battle, the Pearl River Wildcats. They come into A.L. May Memorial Stadium, and it's big for a lot of reasons. South Division, it's our next game, and it's our biggest rival. And the way this game ended, the positive momentum, you got to like that heading into next week. That's always a war. Doesn't matter what the records are. As that cliche goes, you throw them out the window, you strap it on, and you play. It's going to be fun.
It should be a lot of fun. You know, Pearl River, outstanding program, great talent, great coaches. Tim does a great job over there with that program, and it's always a lot of fun. This is I've been fortunate in my life, been blessed. I've coached in Alabama Auburn in the Iron Bowl. I've coached in the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss State. I've been Delta State MC. There is not a bigger game in the country than Gulf Coast Pearl River, and I can honestly say that. It's the most exciting game, most exciting rivalry out there, and look forward to it every year.
Yeah, every year it's a tough one. It's been close the last couple of years. Gulf Coast has had a little bit of the advantage. Pearl River comes in next week. We'll see what happens. And, of course, you can hear that game on 103.1 FM, WOSM, and watch it via streaming video at mgccbulldogs.com. Of course, that kickoff, 7 o'clock at A.O. May Memorial Stadium, Gulf Coast and Pearl River. You better get ready for that one because we're going to have a good time with that. Of course, in the meantime, all your updates on Bulldog Athletics on our website, mgccbulldogs.com and twitter.com/perksid. Once again, here from Summit, Mississippi, Gulf Coast wins at 34-23. 2-0 in the division, 3-1 overall, getting ready for Pearl River back at home next week. For Gulf Coast head coach Steve Campbell, I'm Bill Snyder. Thanks as always for watching Bulldog Blitz. Good night, and we will see you next week.
Kick, poke. Kick, poke. Good. Get out. Here we go. Ready. Hey. Here we go. Ready. Hey.
Gulf Coast trying to get on the board. Cotton gives Reggie Matthews, huge hole on the right side, touchdown Bulldogs. You can't draw it up any better than that. Otis Jacobs is going to take it at his 13. Here comes Otis to the 15, to the 20, breaks the tackles, got some room on the outside across the 35. He may go to the 50, to the 40, to the 30. Man to beat. See you later. Otis Jacobs, touchdown Bulldogs. We're a point away from being tied. Cotton back to pass again. Looking left, got Javon in the fade. Touchdown Bulldogs. Perfectly executed pass from Cotton to Bell. The Bulldogs take the lead.
Hey, listen to me. Let's focus. Let's execute right here. Let's put this baby in. Y'all got me? Let's play at the time. Focus. Hey, good on the slide now. Let's get out on the wide guy. Ramsey, kick, man. Kick. Doubles Winnipeg, and then be ready. We're going to go laser, which is to the left. Winnipeg is all y'all need to know. Winnipeg.
The give to Matthews. Big hole on the right side. Touchdown Bulldogs. Wrap this one up, baby.
To the house. One time. To the house.
At Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, it's like this. We've prepared generations of students for careers and for life. You have options that benefit your busy lifestyle while earning a degree, working, and enjoying time with family. Career and technical courses are offered evenings and weekends, and in hybrid or online formats. Apply online and check the availability of financial aid and scholarships. Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, celebrating excellence for 100 years.